are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sportsport. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sportsport here on a Wednesday, and we have Barnes, Tony, and Zach. What's going on, gentlemen?
Another day in paradise here, Brian. Pumped to be here for the show, dude. Zach, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, good to have you back here, Zach.
Very good.
Now, we haven't seen you since the draft. What was your thoughts on what the Saints did?
Great question.
I was pretty happy with it, to be honest. I felt like now knowing what we know about Shedeur, the way the meetings went and everything, kind of passing on him maybe was the right decision. I don't know about Shuck. I'm kind of like up in the air about it. Gonna see what happens, but I like the idea of looking at him and saying this is our guy, because I think taking Shedeur was just kind of like the pick that everyone wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time I was like kind of bummed out about that, but now I'm kind of happy with it. I think it was the right decision in hindsight. So,
and other than like maybe you were thinking Shedeur at that time, was there like another QB you wanted over Shuck, or was it just at that moment you were thinking Shedeur but you didn't know?
I think it was just Shedeur because it was like right there. But I also really like Dart as well. I was really high on him. I think the Giants drafted great, by the way. Top to bottom, I really think they got an A+ in my book for the
Gruden's
draft.
really high on Dart.
Yeah,
John Gruden.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe so.
rightfully so.
Yeah.
I think he was honestly the quarterback with the most potential in the draft. So yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it was interesting, and it's funny, the Shedeur stuff. Like, it makes sense now, but at the time, I was like, I just couldn't believe it. I was just thought it was automatic, second round, Steelers, Browns, somebody would take him. But and me and Tony, we're talking about this on Monday, but I think it just shows you, with these general managers, like it's part of the new age, the entitlement of the younger athlete, but you just can't like walk in there like you own the place, you're a gift from God, and like everybody's beneath you. Like, it's just like it's like being Aaron Rodgers at this point. Like, no one's interested in it. Ask the Jets brass about that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You want to do McAfee or
what?
No, I'm saying Rodgers. Are you gonna do McAfee or?
Dude, that was so. I really I can't still with him, dude. But I guess him and McAfee seem to still be buddies, so I guess that's good that they were able to clear things out and still remain friends.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that was interesting, and it's going to be interesting to see how these drafts end up playing out. We think we know, but at the end of the day,
you don't.
Yeah, we're not going to know until next season. What we do know is that Michael Butka is batting leadoff once again. Oh yes, dude.
Let me get some comments here. Why not, dude? We do have Michael Butka, who is happy to be here. I'll give him that. My friends, he says, I had some late night contacts with Ernie. At 12:45 a.m., dude, which is like, that is pretty late. Huge shout out to you, Ernie, and your incredible wife. Thank you, Mrs. Cabrera.
I feel bad for the Cabreras, honestly. That's late, Michael.
Yeah, that is kind of wild.
Kids got to get to bed, right?
I guess they're up, I guess, right? Yeah. And he says also a huge shout out to Barnes for shouting out the chain restaurants in the comments last night on Binge Buddies. I don't know if you would say it's a shout out though.
Yeah, no, I did. No, I did. I was kidding, obviously, but I said shout out to all the chain restaurants.
Well, that's what I mean, like.
But it's Michael wasn't seeing that one because he's just excited about chain restaurants. But I think we have to, while Zach's here, ask him.
Oh yeah,
favorite chain restaurant
like Applebee's, Chili's,
Cheesecake Factory. That was a good one,
which is a good one. Yeah, that's
I could have said that one.
Yeah,
I said Outback.
I'm gonna have to go with Chili's.
Chili's,
not because the food is like great, or I mean, the food isn't
Obviously.
really great
Yeah.
anywhere at these places, but it's more just the vibes. Like me and my
Mhm.
friends, we always enjoy going there, watching the games. I don't know if you throw Buffalo Wild Wings in there too, but
I
Yeah,
guess you
it's
would.
sort of on
know,
the line. I feel like
no, I mean it's definitely a chain restaurant, and I'm sure maybe quality has suffered, but I don't hate it honestly. Buffalo Wild Wings, it's just like in a pinch, like if like you have to, and it's just the nice part about it is the game is gonna be on whatever you're trying to watch. So,
yeah, exactly.
but yeah, what else we got?
Michael Buckner also shouts out Josh B. What could happen, he says, if we had late night contact?
Those you could tell like when he asks like a certain question, like those are one of those like he's like cracking up to himself, like can't wait to see what Josh B has to say. Like,
oh yeah, dude. And then he says, Ernie, I guess he quotes here, remember this, you're the best man a girl can have. Always remind your wife that, especially when she questions our late night
again,
contact,
cracking
dude.
up to himself.
I can't. All right, Josh
He should
B,
do a stand-up act. Michael Buckner.
it sounds like he should, dude.
Yeah.
As long as Ernie's in the crowd, I guess.
Right.
Speaking of Ernie, just giving the you're in the house as well. I mentioned Josh B says, "Yo, what's good, fam? Good morning, Josh." We also have John Pollock in the house, best podcast on this planet right now. I'm sure he's pretty happy. Detroit feels
John
good.
Pollock,
obviously very complimentary here to
a
us.
legend. Here.
Speaking of the legends, Matthew Gabriel says, "Let's go," even though he said "foo" at first, then corrected to
the
go.
Foo, the go,
the go, dude. He says, "Look at yous." And we have Derpy actually, nice shirt. He says, "Ugly hat," which I'm assuming he's speaking to you.
I mean, I don't know why people just can't get over. I mean, the Yankees are the Yankees. They're not going anywhere, bud. Come
on. And then Josh B says, "Yes, Mr. Pollock, facts." By this being the great show, Ernie. I was up gambling while everyone was asleep. It's okay for now. LOL.
He says for now. I think the late night contact is wearing as the days go on.
Yeah, of course. I wonder if Ernie had any wins last night, dude. Michael Buckner says Buffalo Wild Wings is overrated. Yeah, I guess so. It's a better restaurant chain. Sure.
I really do like the onion rings though with that Southwest sauce. Honestly.
I guess I've never had their onion rings. Actually,
unbelievable. I mean, the rings are good, but it's like the sauce that makes it.
The sauce, dude.
Gotta have a good sauce.
Oh
right?
My gosh,
Manny with the sauce.
Manny
right?
with the sauce, dude. That's what he said. Speaking of gotta have the sauce here, Matthew Ryan says Mets suck, Yankees rule. That's funny. Michael Buckner says, Zach, what Chili's do you?
He wants
go
the
to,
coordinates.
Dude? I don't even know. Is there Chili's in Milford? I guess, right?
Shelton,
yes.
Shelton Chili's. Been there forever.
Dude. Really? Yeah. That's nice. And then Michael Theophil also in the building says legends, dude. Matthew Ryan intentionally skipping my comments. No, but I will start if you keep giving that attitude. And then look at my hockey comments. Oh, maybe I did miss one. Something. Did I miss something?
I didn't see it.
No, yeah, actually, yeah. Matthew Ryan, how about you check yourself, okay, buddy? And then Michael Buckner says yes, Shelton. Good shit. And he wants to know how long have you known Manny for, dude?
I mean, I guess what, 4 years, 5 years, 5 years, 5 years, 5 years
almost.
And then the Ernie, right? The
30 for 300, LMAO, 35 for 300,
and then more. He's going more.
Check hit at 9:30, bets in at 9:44 and 9:52. Everything hit by 10:30. LMFAO. Let's effing go.
And then the last crack up Michael Bucket comment.
Can we agree that Manny's cool?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's it.
That's obvious.
That's it. I don't know that's it. So and then also, I know he's not going to stand for it, but Outback's better than Chili's and Applebee's. I just don't want to hear it. Okay. Anyway, busy agenda here today.
Yeah, it is.
As we always do on Wednesday, the Byron Nelson, Tony, starting
Byron
tomorrow.
Nelson.
Obviously named after Byron Nelson himself. One of the historic golfers.
Do you like him?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he, this tournament goes back to 1944.
Very nice.
Until his death in 2006, he commonly did make appearances at the tournament. It's played at TBC Craig Ranch, par 72, 7,468 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And you're looking at a purse of $9.9 million here. Your defending champ, Taylor Pendrith, last year, 23 under, 1 stroke clear of Ben Coles. And the winner's share is up to $1.782 million. So
that's
not
nice.
too shabby, for a non-signature event on the PGA Tour. And kind of interesting, most of the top golfers sitting it out, but given his Texas roots, Scotty Scheffler is in the field this week. as well as Sunjae Im, Byung Hung An, Tom Kim, Sam Burns, Taylor Pendrith, defending his title, Steven Yeager, Nico Echevarria, Mackenzie Hughes, Matt McCarthy, Ben Griffin, Ramos Hogard, Jordan Spieth, Austin Eckroth, Cam Davis, Eric Cole, Siwoo Kim, Will Zalatoris. So even though you have a lot of the top golfers sitting out, there's still a bunch of guys here who have had success on the PGA Tour, some Texas natives, Jordan Spieth, I'm sure is riled to play in this one, as well. And the Hogard brothers did have a good showing, last week at Zurich. I think it's just for some of these golfers, it's a good warm up as we get closer and closer, to the PGA Championship. It's going to be here before we know it. Doesn't it seem like we just had the Masters or no?
It does seem like that, dude. I was thinking about that this morning, actually getting ready. It does feel like yesterday. Is that why you put the shirt on today?
It was more just kind of, it was just the time.
It's just time.
Yeah.
Do you have any comments on it during the day, like going to work
at times,
or whatever,
but didn't get any comments yet this morning.
Okay.
It just, I feel like it's a very respected shirt. Everybody knows the logo. So definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah,
for
maybe
sure.
A couple let's go Rory chants on the way to work.
No, let's go Rory
Come
chants.
on, dude.
But speaking of Rory, big stretch coming up for him. And I think this is why people are sitting out this week, is because you got the signature event, the Truish, next week being played at the Philly Cricket Club. And then the PGA right after. So, it's
right.
3 weeks in a row. So that's why some people are sitting out. But nevertheless, an exciting time on the PGA Tour. But what are we thinking here?
I mean, listen, I'm gonna go with Scotty. I'm not gonna beat around the bush here. I think there's a reason, like you mentioned, Rory, obviously, one of the top golfers in the world, okay, as well as Scotty, who's taking this week off, gearing up for a tough stretch. What's Scotty doing? I think he's still gunning for his first win this year. And I think that's exactly what he's going to do. And I know it's like, oh, well, he's the first ranked golfer, whatever. I think who's the next one? The 20th, right? Is it
28th?
28th?
Yeah.
Okay. I think, it could be anyone's tournament, sure. But I think Scotty's going to be on an absolute mission here this weekend. Give me 25 under. Give me Scheffler for the win. First one this season. Gearing himself up for, honestly, this tough stretch. I mean, he's, going to want to win majors, coming off of a season last year where he had, 8 wins on tour? So, he's definitely going to try pretty hard here. So let's fucking go Scotty. And I guess if I'm picking a sleeper here, always so tough. I know the amateurs doesn't really matter. Kevin Kisner. I guess give me Taylor Montgomery. Why not, dude? He's up here at plus, this is a 50,000.
Wow.
Which obviously is a nice little bang for your buck if you're looking Ernie, maybe to make a few. But the age 30 pro golfer here has no top 10 finishes this year, no wins, obviously, either. But again, maybe hopefully after receiving 4 straight cuts since the Puerto Rico Open, cut at the Houston Open, cut at Punta Cana, and then cut at Zurich, maybe he's hoping to capture some lightning in a bottle. Before that, by the way, he was top 25 finish at Cognizant. So you never know, dude. So I guess give me Montgomery. And again, if he was to have to win, I would say somewhere around the 23 under range.
All right.
All right.
I am going to go, and I think, it gives an opportunity with all these guys sitting out for somebody who's kind of, middle tier, but nevertheless, quality golfer, has obviously won, on the PGA Tour before. And he did finish runner-up at this event back in 2021. Made his last 2 cuts. I think it was 13th at Hilton Head, 46th at the Masters, and had missed 3 cuts in a row. But that would be Sam Burns. So I think he's due 5 career wins. And I could see him winning this one. Let's say at 23 under par. So he'll have quite the week, and this would be his first win since the 2023 match play. And then as a sleeper, Joel Damon, the heartbreak in Punta Cana a couple weeks ago. And I think he's going to right the ship. Weak appearance at Zurich, but We know the talent is there mentally, just needing to come through. And I think he will, Tony. I think he will.
Put the bottle down.
Putting the bottle down. So
who was he paired up with last at Zurich?
Harry Higgs.
Harry Higgs, dude.
Yeah.
Both of them. I feel like every time you saw them, they'd swing and they'd just be like, oh, like after every stroke.
But cracking up like Michael Bucket talking about Chili's, right?
Is he still?
No, I don't know. I'm just saying, probably.
Yeah, probably.
So yeah, coverage tomorrow, 7:45 ESPN Plus, and the Golf Channel will have it at 4:00.
Are you be dialed in?
You know, we'll watch it at times. You know, it just kind of depends on the ebb and flow, the weather, right?
The weather here, or the weather there?
Maybe both, right?
Yeah.
No, but it's one of those things usually with this. Well, and especially because Thursday, you know, no Yankees. So, you know, maybe tail end of the coverage and then over the weekend, kind of early morning type of thing, you know?
Yeah, no, definitely, dude. And it'd be nice to catch, you know. But I will say, for me personally, I think
you're ready for the PGA Championship.
Yeah, I guess so, dude. I don't know what it is, but maybe because the Masters are so exciting with Rory, but this low is worse than what it was last year. I feel like in between majors right now.
Well, I mean, this is just, I mean, the Zurich and the Byron Nelson,
right?
Not the who's who, right?
No, not at all, dude.
Yeah.
But even still, I mean, I feel like last year, you know, obviously you had Rory and Shane Lowry and even, you know, the Canadians, you know, making some good pushes. So I don't know, man. I just feel like that right now, these tournaments, I can't do it right now. I don't think.
I mean, it's just we want the best. I mean,
we do want the best, dude.
That's it. And any serious comments here, or is it just Michael joking around about
yeah, I think so.
Applebee's
Ernie's in here. He says check. Hold on, stand by. Machado, Polanco, Shohei, RBI, and Nootbaar home run.
Okay, so
no, he says not Nootbaar, Hop, which is definitely better pick there. And then he says, please send me these names.
I don't understand what he means.
I don't know what that means either.
And talk about winning the golf tournament?
Maybe. But
and John Pollock has some picks.
John Pollock. Tom Kimmons is going to win. Sleeper is Jordan Spieth.
Spieth. We want him rounding into form, completing the career Grand Slam.
Yes, that would be nice.
At Quail Hollow.
But it's going to be a trek for him, I think.
Donna Lee. Making
morning.
the trek
Classic.
this morning, saying good morning.
Yeah, always nice to have Donna Lee in here. And Ernie says yes, by the way.
Yeah. So Sam Burns, Ernie, that's an easy one for you to write down.
Scotty
Scheffler, Joel Damon, the alcoholic,
Taylor
Montgomery. So there we go. He's gonna try it out. So I'm sure he could get some good odds on those.
Do a little research, dude.
But that being said, if we could go to the world of Major League Baseball.
What a play! Stop it, Skip. And Alonso cracks one. The Mets win the ball game. Out of sight.
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Drove deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
All right. So Michael K, probably his voice a little hoarse this morning after all the dingers last night in Baltimore.
That's right.
And, you know, like we said, we anticipated this coming in. Kyle Gibson, his whole career, he's been a pitcher that's ERA's hovered around 5, but specifically against the Yankees, you know, it's been well over 5. And this was his first start of the season, had got some work in the minors, hadn't pitched in 7 days. So all of that played into for the second time this year. And the Yankees making history, you know, not only the first team multiple times to lead off a game with 3 straight homers, but to have multiple times 4 homers in the first inning. And it was great hearing Michael K last night as I was on the golf course doing the back-to-back call. And that's what we saw. You know, 3 of the first 3 batters in a row to start, 4 of the first 5. So Grisham, Judge, Rice, and Cody Bellinger all going deep in the first inning. And I mean, Grisham, it's been unbelievable, you know, what he's done this season. So really, you know, comes to no surprise. But, you know, for people that maybe aren't paying that close attention, the fact that he has 8 home runs and Judge has 9, pretty ridiculous. You know, he's not playing every day. And then really nice to see, you know, Ben Rice have another, you know, 2 home run game, 3 for 5. He's been unbelievable. Him himself, on the season. Now he has 8 home runs. So the fact that those guys are on Judge's heels are unbelievable. Judge has been on fire. Hasn't hit a lot of home runs recently. So good to get him his 9th. And the numbers even after this game of going 2 for 3, 412, an OPS over 1200. I mean, it's just absolutely unbelievable. And we mentioned Cody Bellinger. He was 2 for 4 in this one, 3 RBIs with that home run. So average back up over 200, OPS, rising. So you hope this is the start of it for Cody Bellinger, because he's a guy we all felt, coming into this year, was a walking, 30 home runs for the Yankees, given Yankee Stadium, all of that. So it was nice to see that. Also nice to see, it seems like Anthony Volpe is turning the corner. Another 2-hit game for him. I know he's had 3 of those the past week. So he was 2 for 6 in this one. So by the time the first inning was over, you're up 5-0. Carlos Rodon, was really comfortable in this one. He ends up carrying a perfect game into the 6th inning. It only gives up 2 hits, 2 runs, 7 strikeouts, and a walk. So his 3rd consecutive start where he's just been honed in, and those 2 runs are the only runs he's allowed his last 3 starts. So all the talk about his struggles earlier this season, it seems like already that's a thing of the past. I think he leads the league in strikeouts, and his ERA is now down to 3.43. So Carlos Rodon recently giving you everything you could hope for.
That's sick. I didn't know he led the league in strikeouts.
Yeah. I think he has 51, if I'm not mistaken. And I can double check that, but they were showing it. I believe it was on
52, which is good for 3rd, Brian.
Maybe major, but is this majors versus?
Oh, did you say? I thought you said in the majors.
Well, I said the league.
Oh,
so that would be 1st in the American League, Tony. Nice try, though. Nice try.
I mean, come on.
Nevertheless, it's impressive, and the Yankees end up scoring 15 runs in this one. Obviously, that was impressive. Rice adding a home run, his 2nd, like we talked about, and then it was ironic. Come the 9th inning. And I have to say, I really like Joe Girardi on the broadcast. He did a good job. And he was with David Cohn and Michael Kay. He was talking, Austin Wells, he's like the only starter that doesn't have a hit. Would love to see him join the party. And then it was like instantaneously, he homers to left center. They were talking about, while his numbers don't look great, he's making solid contact and better productions on the way. So it was good to see, Austin Wells get in the mix here. So at the end of the day, it's 15-3. It's 15 hits, 15 runs, 19 hits. And a lot of talk about what they're doing with runners in scoring position. How about 8 for 20 this game? So you love to see that. You love to see everybody was in the mix. And I think I talked about this previously, but the fact that Oswaldo Cabrera really has given you better production, maybe than he's given credit for. He's not hitting a ton of home runs, but he's hitting 291. He had 2 hits and 2 runs scored yesterday. And then who becomes very important, he hasn't got a lot of at-bats, is Oswald Peraza. He was 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs yesterday. Jazz leaving this game with like an oblique injury. So usually an oblique, I mean, that's a lengthy injury.
Yeah.
But at least you feel like, okay, if he is going to miss some time,
good.
You have Peraza ready to step in. And listen, like you just said, I mean, he hasn't been hitting well. So I like the idea because, you have DJ LeMay who's working his way back, but then they were just talking about yesterday. He was 6 for 10 at Somerset, but he got a hip injection, so a cortisone shot. So it's like you would think that'll set him back. But regardless of that, if a roster crunch comes at some point, you really want to get a good look at Peraza, so he's going to step in and play second if Jazz is going to be injured. So we'll have to see what happens. But I know they're doing some testing, I think tomorrow, so that would mean that he's definitely not going to play today. But at the end of the day, this is the type of win you want. Your whole lineup contributing. I mean, the fact that you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players with multiple hits in this one. I mean, just absolutely teeing off on the Orioles. You love what Rodon gave you. Ian Hamilton gave you 2 strong out of the bullpen. He's another underrated piece. And with Loaizaga and Cousins, coming back as well. I mean, there's just going to be so many options for Boone. And then Matt Zick finished it out. I'm questioning. I know he was very good with the Braves a few years ago, but he's given up runs in both of his appearances so far. And they did, like we talked about, designate Yoandris Gomez for assignment, a guy who had come up in their farm system, 25 years old. Guess they wanted another lefty option. But he's struggled with control like he has at different points of his career. We'll see if he sticks around. I'm sure when there's a roster crunch, I wouldn't be surprised if he's on the outside looking in. But yeah, there's a lot to like. It was a good bounce back win, especially after that tough loss on Monday. And then today, you set yourself up to win another series before you go home for, a 6-game homestand. So it feels pretty good. You look forward to today. And you're going to get Carlos Carrasco on the mound, who has pitched better recently, than you would have anticipated. I know 5 scoreless innings his last time out. I believe that was the game where on Friday, Devin Williams blew it. So he's going to be opposed by Cade Povich, who, has somewhat similar numbers to Carrasco, both pitchers with ERAs over 5. So you feel like there is opportunity to score some runs here. Also, your bullpen, your top guys have been rested really the last couple of days. I know Devin pitched 2 days ago, but Luke Weaver's been staying away from Fernando Cruz. So those guys will be ready to go. Tim Hill as well. So I think you're prepared to win this game, and you'll use whoever you need to out of the bullpen because you have an off day Thursday before you go home. So, I mean, it's just a good spot to be in. Obviously still in first place here, 1.5 games ahead of Boston. And then you got, Tampa 3.5 games back. So 18-12. I think it's a good spot to be in, and you just look at it, you want to win another series here. You like what your offense is doing. I think the pitching has been a lot better recently as well after a rough start where, it was like Max Fried was the only one that you could count on. Now other guys are stepping up, especially Rodon. I think a lot of people were not expecting this, me included. Those were 3 bad starts in a row after opening day.
Yeah. And we're talking about like early on, like giving up home runs, giving up hits,
yes,
just like seemingly to not be necessarily in a lot of control of his pitches. So
yeah.
To see this here, did he have many walks? What was his?
I think it was only 1 walk, but I'll double check that.
But that's exactly what you want,
Yeah, to be perfect through 5 innings. And then he even actually went out for the 7th, but gave up a home run to Gunnar Henderson, and then Boone ends up pulling him. But a quality start, and it's just, him being a solid number 2 starter for you really takes this rotation. Yeah, and it was only 1 walk. Really takes this rotation to the next level. So let's go. Let's win the series today. We'll go from there. And listen, we might not score 15 runs again today, but I would expect another solid performance. Povich, not exactly Whitey Ford out there, Tony.
That's right, dude.
So another win for the Yankees, another win for the Mets.
That's right, dude. They beat the D-backs 8-3 here in this first game of the 3-game set. And they improved to 21-9, Brian. Predominantly, most importantly, 13-1 at home. They've been absolutely killing it at Citi Field. So that's great. We can get into it. Obviously, another start here for David Peterson, who has been pretty much, lights out as we'll get to some more stats. Why not? We'll get to some scoring here first, where the Mets did start it off here in the bottom of the second. The inning starts out by Vientos grounding out to short, so you have 1 out to start. Rip here. Acuna here, speaking of ripping it, ropes one to center for a single. Okay. And this is, again, like I've said it so many times. When Acuna is on the bags, it's so impressive to see his speed and his base running abilities. And what Taylor ropes a double to left, which I guess it was kind of deep. It wasn't really that deep, honestly. But to see Acuna just fly around to score and to make that look so easy has been such a benefit here for the Mets. Especially as, we do typically see a lot of their scores do come from some small ball hits and stuff like that. So for him to showcase that speed was absolutely awesome. And speaking of the speed, Taylor, who was on second, gets brought in. Next batter, Azekar, hits one single to right field, makes it 2-0 just like that. And then Lindor, who's been an absolute bright spot, obviously all year in his leadoff role as well, hits his, I think it was his 5th homer of the season, sixth homer of the season. His first is a righty, I know that. But this was a 2-run homer, scored Azekar obviously on the bags, makes it 4-0. So right away, the Mets are up 4-0 earlier on, and you're feeling pretty good. Obviously, Peterson, who comes up to at the top of the third, gets Tawa to fly out, strikes out Barossa. Perdomo does get a double, but then Cal grounds out, which ends the inning. And again, for Peterson to come in here, have the confidence of a 4-run lead, and to shut the door in the top of the third, obviously makes the game just go so much better. I feel like the vibe and the mentality here. And speaking of that, the Mets get right back to scoring. Bottom of the third, leadoff walk here by Rodriguez, and Marte absolutely ropes one. I think his 2nd of the year, I believe. Scored Alonso, made it 6-0. Okay. And then again, to bring Acuna back up, he ropes a single. I believe that was a 5-game hit, 5 at-bat hit streak at that point for him. So he's been really coming around, again, understanding his role. Get on the freaking bases. Doesn't really matter. Don't hit a home run. Just get on the bases and use your speed. And when you know it, he's on first base in his office, goes to work, steals second. Taylor ropes a single to left. Easy money for Acuna to score from second, makes it 7-0. And then in the bottom of the fourth here, I guess we'll go to the top of the fourth, excuse me, because we had some of the craziest defense display I think I've seen all around. And obviously the Mets here, we've questioned somewhat of their infield, I would say. Vientos didn't get off to a great start. Obviously the starts with Beatty at second weren't phenomenal. A couple errors early on, even by Lindor. But we have Grichuk, who leads off the inning here, and he hits a hard ground ball to third off of Vientos' glove. Lindor catches it midair, throws him out at first. I don't know if you saw this inning, Brian, or any of the highlights here. Very next batter, Gurriel. I know you weren't paying attention. I was actually genuinely asking if you saw this.
No.
Because it was over social media everywhere, and it was pretty crazy.
You know what it is, though? I guess because I obviously follow John Boy. Okay. No, but I'm saying I don't follow any other Met accounts, right. So stuff doesn't usually come up on my end.
Well, after that crazy play, you had Gurriel Jr., who ropes one into center, and what seemed like was going to drop, honestly, for what would have been probably a double, or at the very least an extra base hit here. Taylor, full stretch dive.
There you go.
Catches it, loses his hat. Crazy nice.
What a game for him today.
Yeah, it was yesterday. And then a great game. And then after that, Suarez ropes one right to Lindor, one hops it, backhand, great pick, throws it to Alonso. Everybody was absolutely fucking jacked up.
I see Tom Hanks in the crowd. Is he an actual fan or Jay Libertelli type of Mets fan?
You better be careful with the Jay Libertelli nonsense, dude. He was texting me last night.
What did he say? What did he say?
Did you?
No, but he's ready to go.
Were you watching the fourth inning? That was some great defense, is what he texted me.
But
and then he follows it up at bottom of the fourth as a sick Alonso homer, dude.
But I think I have pushed this. You know what I mean? I don't think he was as in depth, but now he's proving himself. It's a cause and effect thing. He was not oh, did you see that thing in the fourth?
So you think he's doing this to spite you?
Yes,
is what you're saying.
I do. Because I think he started out, oh, it's Tony. I know. Yeah, let's jump on the bandwagon.
I don't think so.
But his Hank's on the bandwagon, though, because I swear he was a Dodger fan.
Yeah, I don't know what his deal is. I mean, obviously spent a good portion of his life living in the city.
Yeah. But I swear he's in LA now, and I swear I've seen him at Dodger games with Dodgers attire.
I mean, it's possible. It is possible.
Fraud, though. So.
Anyway, dude.
I mean, all I'm saying is you can't go to two parks and have two different, it's one or the other. I know he was at the Dodgers game this year.
So you can't, he can't go to a Mets game, though?
If he's wearing Dodgers hat at a Dodgers game and he's going to go to the Mets game with a Mets hat, yeah, he can't do that. It's one or the other. I mean, you learned a couple years ago.
I mean, I still would do what I did again.
Well, you wouldn't, though.
People would just freak out for no fucking reason. And it's I don't know what you want me to do.
Hanks is a fraud, though, honestly.
Possibly, yes. Yeah. It could be. Not that really matters.
Well, I mean, it was, you're mentioning videos, highlights. I mean, it's on the ESPN.com. Okay, Hanks loves the Lindor home run. He loves it.
A lot of people did, dude. I for sure did.
Jay did.
Jay definitely did. First one as a righty this year, dude.
There you go.
Yeah, that's right.
There you go.
So anyway, it's 8-0 right now. And then obviously, well, I guess that's so obviously, but Peterson does give up an RBI double here in the 5th. That would be the end of his night, by the way. After the 5th, he does get out of it. And his final line is 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 2 Ks, Brian.
I don't know where that came from. That was fucking weird. Tom Hanks, I think, was tight.
Oh, my God. Maybe Jay's tight, dude. But this outing marked 72 innings at Citi Field without a starter from the Mets giving up a home run.
I mean, there's some stuff right now that they are teetering with streak-wise. The record at home, and then
13-1,
and then that stat. I mean, it's like
absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
So the starting pitching obviously has been such a bright spot this season, something that we thought really wasn't going to be good, but I guess we'll get to today in a second. But in any case, obviously, and I guess maybe because Mendoza knew that maybe today was going to be a bullpen game because there is an undecided for the starter today. But you do get a Buteau, I guess, resurgence here, not for nothing. He threw 2 innings. Very solid. I think 5 Ks over 2 innings.
4 walk.
Ks, 1 walk, no hits, no earned runs.
I thought Jay was the one I watched.
Nothing crazy. Listen, people make mistakes, just like you. Okay, dude. Which was great to see Buteau obviously have a good solid 2 innings.
He's
last weekend gets a little hit around.
I don't know.
Whatever,
I still feel like he's pretty good though. I know he's like he has his times where he's blowing it, but I think like the arm talent is there.
The arm talent is there. Sometimes when he struggles with his changeup, he has a hard time like figuring it out.
Yeah.
And obviously that's something he has to, again, kind of figure out. But listen, a great outing for him. We do get someone in the 8th and 9th who 32-year-old, I don't know, it's been like 5 years, Herget. I don't know much about it, to be honest. But it's been jumping around, I think maybe Pittsburgh, Washington, and then now the Mets or whatever.
Maybe sent down today with the bullpen
Probably,
game.
Yeah, honestly. And again, I mean, obviously Mendoza didn't think that he'd have Kadai starting today. I don't know what the deal is with that. But
he's supposed to start today.
Yeah, he starts after Peterson.
Oh,
so, but in any case, you get this guy close to the game. Does give up 2 runs, but that's totally fine. 8-3, no worries. Like I said, 13-1 at home. Move on to today and try to keep this, at home, record buzzing, dude. So it's been absolutely great. I mentioned, Acuna around the bag has been great. Before he was 2 for 4 yesterday. He had a 5 at-bat hit streak going into yesterday's game.
Even 300 batting average.
Even 300. Again, I think really maybe fell into his understanding of his role, which is just to, hit the ball on the ground and use your speed. We've seen him beat out, infield hits, obviously the stealing of the bags. I think he has 7 this year. And then, the first to home. I mean, that's just what a great way to jumpstart your offense.
Yeah.
And again, to start that off in the second inning, you have your 8 and your 9 hitters contributing off rip. And then what do you know? Lindor comes up, hits a 2-run blast. Like, it was just a great all-around game. And the defense, even Alonso, I think had a good pick at first base as well. So it's been great all-around play from the Mets here. Which is awesome, which is exactly what you want, especially after, again, little hiccups last weekend against the Nationals here. You're not looking back, dude.
I did see we got a bunch of comments, some of them related to the Mets.
Oh boy, dude. I hope that they're good. Let me pull up.
I think but the first was actually John Pollock with the Astros, right? He hates the Astros.
Hates the Astros. That's fine. I mean, many people
they
do.
They took
here.
those last 2 games. I didn't expect it, John. I don't think they're that good of a team this year. I thought the Tigers would win both of them, but maybe they'll salvage today.
Yeah, maybe. But in any case, I hate the Astros. Let's see, Ernie. Again, I mean, dude, literally, like, I'm gonna start bringing salt shakers into the show. 20-9, he says, against teams below 500. Let's fucking go Mets. Obviously being sarcastic, but it's like, Ernie, like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what do you want? Like, do you want me to be happy that they're like if they were losing these games? Do you want me to be upset that they're 20-9? Like, that's an absolute joke. And then obviously, like, they took care of business against the Phillies, which was their first big test, and everyone was rooting for them not to do well.
Phillies
you included, Ernie.
Though.
That's fine. I mean, they still have like phenomenal pitching. They still have Schwarber. They still have Bryson. Like, Stott's been hitting well. Bohm's been okay. I mean, they still have a great team. Regardless, I mean, the Mets are winning these games, getting the job done. So, I mean, you can go cry home to Michael Buckner later. John Pollock says, I can't stand losing to them. Oh, the last 2 nights, sorry, the Astros. Matthew Ryan says, who needs Soto? Again, I don't know if he's trying to dig, whatever, dude. Michael Buckner, big Tom Hanks guy. I don't know if you knew that, though. Tom Hanks has been in a ton of movies.
Fraud.
That guy is everywhere.
Ask Michael about it. The other Michael.
the other Michael.
Yes.
Michael Thiefel says, I think it's hilarious, by the way, that all Mets highlights from I guess last night, not one of Soto. Hashtag
he lied about his age. He's past his prime.
I mean, look, it's not even going to entertain like this like anti-Met sentiment. And Brian, you can think whatever the hell you want.
No,
honestly.
but I think you can't sugarcoat though that
no one's sugarcoating anything.
You are though.
But
I'm saying,
I'm
but
not.
it's just
Like,
he
no one
hasn't
is.
produced though. You're getting tight about it, but it's like he hasn't.
That's whatever.
But I'm saying, so why are you tight about it? Everyone's just pointing out that like what we've seen,
Right.
he hasn't been hitting home runs. His batting average is weak. He's made some errors in the field. I mean, those are all like true things, and I feel like you're acting like they're not.
No, I'm not acting like they're not. But it is like Michael Theophil and Ernie just trying to be like not for nothing. They're just being schmucks. Like they're just saying these things to say these things when it doesn't matter if it doesn't affect the outcome of the game.
Right.
Okay.
But
and they're winning these games, and it's
I think you have to look. I mean, they do make some good points though, because it's like it's
but it's not that I don't have to
when
look
you play different
because I know
teams,
they're
though.
bringing these up because they are tight about Soto. Like that is the reason why, which is what makes their comments close to irrelevant.
But I think you could say that. But then
I did
like,
say that.
But the point is though, like it's true, and it just seems
Right.
like you, along with some other Mets fans. I think some are actually tight at Soto, honestly. Like I was just talking to my Uncle James last night, big Mets fan himself. He's like, yeah, I don't know about this Soto guy.
Listen,
honestly, I'm really not happy with him.
I'm not sitting here and saying he's doing a good job. I'm not sitting here and saying, wow, like, this is great. But then why am I focused on the good?
No. But I'm saying, why are you annoyed that people are mentioning
I just told you why. I just told you why.
But I mean, it's whether the reason that they're saying it or not. The point is, it's true. So
because they're not
like, but it doesn't matter why they're saying it.
It does.
It doesn't
because they're not trying to have a conversation.
Happening,
like they're not trying to sit here and have a conversation with me about the Mets. They're just bringing this up just for the sake of bringing it up because they are salty, and that is the reason why. Have a conversation with me. Come sit here, Mike. Come in studio, Ernie. Come on in. Tell me the ABs you've watched of Soto. Why do you think he's not doing well?
But I think the reason that's
break down the Mets with me, dude. Like go for it.
He's not doing well, and you expected him to do so much better.
That's
and
right.
It's like, so I mean,
if he was,
if
these strikeouts led to us losing games, if his errors led to us losing games, I'd be sitting here like they have in the past. They have. You go back to the first game, right? Against the Astros. Soto had an opportunity to win the game against Josh Hader, and Hader closed it out. Okay. What was I talking about the next day? Well, he's got to fucking figure out the plate. But in this instance, it was an 8-3 win against the Diamondbacks. You're focusing on the good things. You have to still account for Soto, turning the corner and finding his way through. And I will say, I mean, not for nothing, Soto's had 6 hits in the last 5 games. Okay? He's been on base plenty of times. He's brought runners in. He has 2 strikeouts in his last 5 games. Like, he's not, like, horrible.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
but
he's just not producing the way Yankee fans want him to produce.
I don't want him to produce. I'm saying obviously you want him to produce.
Of course.
And, I mean, it doesn't like.
But it's
nonsense.
Sure part of you. It's like nonsense.
But I
think do I want him to rather him have 10 home runs right now?
It's just like
because it's every day you're going to bring this up.
But when
they're absolutely raking,
but when
they are raking.
But it doesn't matter if they're raking.
It does matter. It's a team.
No, it doesn't. You're just getting ultra defensive because it's like, listen, you sign a deal for $765 million. You're going to be critiqued. Just deal with it. Like, you know what I mean?
I literally,
you can't
I told
say,
you why.
I'm better than everybody else. And then, oh, wait, I'm not producing. It's like, well, people are going to mention it. And you have to just deal with that. And until he turns it around and produces like the way that we all expect him to, that's going to be a conversation. And that's just part of it. You're going to have a target on your back.
I'm not saying that I'm not talking about him because I want to ignore the fact. I'm talking about the Mets winning games. I could give a fuck if Soto goes out there and sits on his bat. They're winning these games.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's
going on. And you're
just
bringing up the negative for the sake of bringing up the negative.
Well, actually, I mean, they were bringing it up. I'm just answering what they said. But I think, it begs a serious question, though. It's like, okay, so like the schedule is worked out where the teams aren't as good, but there's no concern in the back of your mind that like when you face tougher pitching and if Soto, he's not producing against the weaker pitching, that if he's not producing then, and then some of this production from the 8 and the 9, you're not getting that the results are going to be different. I mean, that's not.
I'm not going to sit here and say hashtag fucking past his prime. No, dude. Like, he's going through a rough spot. No, but these are the people you're entertaining. These are the people you're entertaining right now. This is what you want, okay? And it is ridiculous. He is going to come around. The guy's a career 280 hitter. He's absolutely stellar his entire career, basically. And of course, I mean, we've seen it with any other player in any other sport. Yes, you do sign a big contract. You go to a new team, a lot of pressure on you. It is different. There are instances where you need a period of adjustment, which is fine. Okay, that shit happens. We've seen players who have career years and the next season they don't do well. We've seen it with Alonso. Okay, but what are you going to do? You don't want Alonso anymore? Look at what he's batting right now. He's absolutely killing it, right? He's coming around. Yes, it's a long contract. Yes, it's huge. Yes, there's going to be ridicule when you sign a contract that big, but the ridicule are coming from people who, quite frankly, don't offer anything.
I mean, they're just talking about
they're just talking about what they want. Okay.
But, I mean, also though, it's just what's happening.
But they don't see. Michael doesn't watch games. Do you think Ernie's really watching these Mets games? No, dude.
Like you said,
he's looking at
the
numbers.
Highlights. The highlights are out there.
Oh wow, the highlights. I don't see Soto. Does that mean he's not doing well? Do you think they knew he's had 5 hits or 6 hits in his past 5 games? No, they
that's
didn't.
Not
and they
what
don't
you
give a
paid
fuck.
him for.
They don't
hit
give a fuck.
Singles though, like it's like.
What do you mean? What do you mean,
but you
dude?
can't act like that. It's not well.
A couple
below.
singles.
Yeah, it's been a couple homers.
Like,
no,
look at his
at
bats. No, it's been, I believe there's 2 doubles in the past 5 games that bring runs in.
But you're talking
Why
about
do I care if he
hits
hits home runs?
250. I mean, it's like, come on.
Yeah, no, he's going through a tough spot. Absolutely. Yeah. But I'm not going to sit here and entertain these people who hate the Mets and just want to say it for the sake of saying this and offer nothing. Why would I entertain these people? It's Matthew Ryan. It's Michael Buckta. It's the same shit.
Well, I mean, I don't think Michael Buckta is talking about Soto, but he's not, though. He hasn't mentioned Soto.
You understand the parallel here. Okay? like it's complete nonsense. It's nonsense is what it is.
I just
it's
think,
nonsense,
though,
dude.
That you have to just realize, though, the fact that it's like
no, you have to realize. No, Brian, you have to realize why these people are asking these questions, like why they're bringing up. Why do you think Michael's bringing it up? Honestly.
But it's like if you're Soto himself, like if you don't want to be subject to criticism, then don't play baseball. Like,
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
If you want it to go away,
no one is saying that.
But you're tight that people are bringing up. If you want it to go away, he's got to do better. Until then, it's going to be talked about.
But see, you know what? That's also where you're wrong.
You want it to be. That's
also where you're wrong.
It's going to be talked about.
But see,
no matter how bad you don't want it to be talked about, it's going to be talked about.
Even if he was doing well, it still would be talked about. It still would be. Oh, Judge has more. No, it's not. It's the same conversation. It's the same shit.
I think
these people.
You just have to deal with shit, and it's just like with the Mets in general. Like you matter about people like talking about what they're gonna do, how they're doing, until they prove themselves. That's just how it's gonna be. It's not gonna change, and I think that's the problem that Mets fans are having is they want that instant gratification right now. It's like you gotta wait till you do it. Until then,
first of all, like, what are you talking about? Instant gratification.
You want to be respected.
First of all, this is a fucking team that just went to the CS. Okay, this is a team who has one of the best records in the league. Okay, like they are doing really well right now. And I'm not asking you to get down on your hands and your knees right now.
But you kind of want it to be,
no, I'm not done.
They're not subject to criticism, and you just have to accept
that. No, I didn't. I never said that.
You have to accept that.
When did I say that?
There's going to be jabs.
No. Honestly,
but you're
like
annoyed about the jabs.
Show me when I said
it's
that.
Like the jabs are going to come until they actually win something.
They are winning. They are winning, Brian.
Not just winning.
They are winning right now.
You know what I'm talking about?
No. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
But you're not going to get what you want until they win a championship. That's it. They're going to be subject to jabs. Like people aren't going to let up until they get over the hump and win a title.
Like,
they're going to be the subject.
Stupid.
They are, though. That's just how it is.
What are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about.
So I can't celebrate a win. I can't celebrate the 20 wins until they have
the
championship.
The privilege of just not having to hear it from other people until they win. That's just how it's going to be. And it's not just Ernie and it's not just Michael. It's everybody. It's all over. I think it's just, you have to realize not everybody's a Mets fan. So it's like until they win something, people are going to critique them. People are going to mention that, well, they do this, they do that. But then when it really matters, what do they do? People are going to mention that. Like, you're not going to be immune from that until they win. And I know it's upsetting
like you're
for
getting
you,
so far off the subject. It's not about
that's why
the
you're
team.
mad, though.
No,
you're
it's
mad
not.
that people are mentioning
It's
this.
not.
But it's like, why do you think they're mentioning it? It's like you're
because
going by history.
I told you how many fucking times I'm telling you how many why they're mentioning it.
But you just think you're just immune to that. Oh, we got off to a great start, so nobody could talk about negative things about the Mets. It's like that's not reality.
Again, I never said that.
But that's how you're acting. You're mad that they're bringing them up, and it's like, why are they bringing them up? Because they're happening. and they've happened. That's why.
Honestly, call into any radio show every day and bring that up. What are they gonna do? They're gonna stop taking your calls because what are you talking about?
We're talking about what's happening on the field. He's not playing well, and it's I don't know why that aggravates you. It's you don't want to hear it. He has to play better. It's not going to change until that happens.
He does have to play better. That's great.
But I'm saying, I don't know why you think that nobody's going to bring it up. That's just going to happen.
Because it's irrelevant right now. It is irrelevant right now.
It's not irrelevant.
It's stupid bringing it up every day.
If you think you're going to get to where you want to be and he's going to produce like that, you're kidding yourself. It's you need him to be Soto if the Mets are going to take their step to the next level.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's that's important. It's not irrelevant.
It is very important.
Yeah, so I'm saying I don't know why that aggravates you. If it's you don't want people to talk about it, he's got to play better.
All I want is people to, if they will talk about it, talk smartly about it. Honestly, you're not offering me anything, is what I'm saying, Brian. You're not offering anything. You don't offer anything.
I don't offer anything. What are you talking about? I said he hasn't produced, and you're gonna need him. That's simplifying it. What else did I say? That's the truth.
No, I'm talking
he needs
about
to play
the
better.
Comments about this.
All right, yeah. I'm not saying his age, but I'm just saying he's been very underwhelming, and I think the Mets have no chance to win anything if he's going to produce like this.
I mean, I think that is kind of far-fetched, honestly, to say if the rest of the team is still producing like this right now, they will be able to make the playoffs.
But I think the point
and
is
to go
that
deep in the playoffs,
like some of these guys that are hitting the bottom line. The guys that you can count on are him and Alonso and Lindor. All those guys need to be optimating at full capacity for them to win anything.
Right. Which is what you expect and what you're paying those players to do, by the way.
But I'm saying,
and they have done it in the past.
But he can't sit it out. That's what I'm saying. He can't play like this and then them win. That is not going to happen.
No one is saying that he can.
But so he's not right now. So until he does, that's going to be a conversation.
But he's not right now. But they're winning all these games.
Right. Because
it gives the Mets time and Soto time to figure it out. Okay. Which is what they have been doing. And again, his play has been doing the opposite of what people like Michael and Ernie seem to comment as if it does, which is lose games, which it doesn't. That is wrong.
Right. But it's that it's playing with fire. Eventually it is going to.
No. I think playing with fire is to say he's washed. Is to think he won't do good. No, I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about.
I wasn't reading the table. I would just say he's underwhelming right now, and you need better. That's what I said. That's all I said. I don't know why that's a problem.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the general sentiment of Yankee fans. If you want to pull yourself in, that's fine with that. But they are obviously rooting for Soto to do better. Let's just start off with that. So there is no real right for these people that Soto can do. I don't care if he had 20 home runs right now. Oh, it's not going to last. That's not going to last.
Nobody
are these
would
people.
Say that though. They're saying because he's not
but they
doing bad.
Would.
No, they would.
Even if he was doing good, they would still do that.
There's nothing.
It's a fact.
But there's no.
It's a fact.
But it hasn't happened. So you're saying it's a fact, but nobody's done that. The fact is, you're talking about facts. The fact is, he hasn't done well,
and the fact
that's why it's a conversation.
Odds are he will do well. That is again, talk to anyone who's in the industry, around the locker room. That is the sentiment. He will do well. Odds are he will. He is a great player. He's not a bad player just because he's not on the Yankees anymore.
Well, I mean, nobody said that he's a bad player. He's not on the Yankees. But it's just, I don't know. I just think that I mentioned this before. I mean, we see it a lot of times with the bad first season. And I also think that his body language is honestly a little odd. It doesn't seem, and I'm sure it has to do with the results, but he doesn't seem like he's enjoying himself like he has.
And that's another thing that honestly really pisses me off too, is for people to see his body language and say he doesn't want to be on the Mets or he's not enjoying his time.
I'm not saying he's not wanting to be on the Mets.
He's not enjoying.
I mean, do you think he's enjoying?
When you're not doing well, why would you be? Isn't that fucking obvious? Again, people see that, oh man, he looks down. He doesn't want to be on the Mets. He'd rather be with the Yankees. Nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. He's not doing well. Why would you be excited if you're not doing well?
Because the team's doing well, so you would think you would be excited about that.
Yeah, but it's kind of hard when you hear, again, we can get back to these people who are criticizing him, which is fine, but you think he doesn't listen to that? He's still in the New York market. He still hears the noise. He still has a million reporters asking him why he's dropping balls, why isn't hitting home runs, right? I mean, that's just what it is. So, he's not going to be happy right now, but I'm not going to sit here and say he doesn't want to be on the Mets. That's ridiculous.
I do think, though, what you're saying, he hears stuff, but I think it's all part of it. And I think he's having a little bit of a tough time just accepting the fact that the target's going to be on his back. For this whole contract, the target's going to be on his back. He's going to be critiqued. It's not going to go away. So it's put up or shut up. That's what it is. He hasn't done it yet. Doesn't mean that he's not going to, but I just think he doesn't like the vibe for himself right now. And he wants to change that. And it'll be interesting to see if he can.
Sure.
So, we'll see. Are we familiar with Stanley Babtich?
I'm sorry?
Stanley Babtich comments? Let's go Mets.
No.
Maybe prefers buddy.
I did see Prefer pop in here before.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah. And he says, when Soto don't do well, Brian will troll Tony. When Soto does well, Barnes will dodge the issue, become arrogant, repeat the same entire responses. Tony is a nice guy who never trolls Barnes. It almost sounds like
well, it sounds like someone, the first person ever in the comments to tell the truth, I guess.
The difference is, though,
there is no difference.
There is a difference, though,
What's the
because when
difference?
somebody does well, I say it. I'm not gonna argue. Like, you want to say, what am I supposed to say right now? Oh, Alonso's playing terrible. No, he's not. He's playing like one of the best players in the league. It's not hard to say, but it's like Soto isn't. So that's why I'm mentioning it.
Can you say the Mets have been playing like one of the best teams in the league?
Yeah, they have. I mean, they have the best record.
So anyway, I mean, I guess we can go through some of the comments are kind of nonsense.
Ernie loves you,
honestly. Solid pitching, he says.
Nobody, he says, Tony, you don't need a cardiologist. I got your blood pressure under control and
Well
well
worked.
worked. Love you, buddy. And then Michael says, I'm bringing it up to make good sports talk. And then Michael Butka, trying to be the peacemaker over here, saying, okay, enough with the outburst and argument. Let's stop acting like children.
Let's all go to Chili's.
Michael Buchter, dude.
And then Ernie also says, let's go Theoville. Solid pitching. Didn't the error in right field this weekend cost them the lead then in the game, late in the game? And then he says, I have him on my fantasy team. I'm not rooting for him to fail. I need him to produce. Third pick in the draft. I need to start making my pick worth it. So, yes, I have a take in his production. I mean, some of it's valid. So, and then Tony comes see me during my office hours. We need to talk about that anger.
Wow. Is that office hours? In the evening.
Anyway, we said, we're back on the diamond today. And what are the update? I know we did I don't know if you said the overall records before, but pick wise, I know you were 6-0 yesterday.
Yeah, hold on, let me look at my notes here. I am 25 and I'm 29 and 19. You're 25 and 23.
Okay.
Which does add up.
All right, so we're caught
track.
up finally. Even though there was a rainout yesterday, luckily it wasn't one of our picks. But I know you're up first. So if you want to do a 6-pack MLB pick segment brought to you by the Hirsch Law Firm.
Absolutely, dude. And I guess we will get started in Citi Field. I mean, why not? I mean, obviously, Mets have been absolutely amazing at home. Not only are they 13-1, but they're on an 8-game home win streak as well. So, you would anticipate they do take care of business. Obviously, tough with the undecided. I'm not really sure what we'll see out of the pen. I don't know. I haven't got anything on Senga, but maybe like a Kranick or something for some long relief. But I guess whatever, dude. I mean, the Mets bullpen have been absolutely lights out all year as well. Obviously, a couple blips here and there, which will happen. But regardless, I think they can keep Arizona's offense at bay, which, obviously last night, not a ton of run production. The only 3 runs, they get 8 hits. But regardless, I would imagine that the Mets bullpen can keep things inside the park here. And I'm going to continue to go with our hot hitters. Vientos is a player. Maybe I'm biased because he's on my fantasy team too. I need him to do well. But we've seen so many times specifically with him, good plays in the field, end up helping himself at the plate. So I wouldn't be surprised if he goes a yard here. Obviously going to be a tough matchup. I guess you could argue, though, Corbin Burns not off to the start that he wants. 4.05 ERA, 0-1 on the season. So, still looking for his first win, which is pretty crazy to think about it with Corbin Burns. But I guess you can say that honestly about the Diamondbacks in general, honestly. But at the end of the day, I guess I'll say the Mets will take this one. The over-under is 8.5. I guess I'll go over. Mets in the over, dude. I think it'd be like a 7-4 or something like that.
All right. So Yankees looking to win the series tonight in Baltimore. 6:35 prime video game. We talked about it before. Carlos Carrasco versus Cade Povich. The battle of the 5 ERAs, and obviously Yankees feeling pretty good. About their offense. After scoring 15 runs last night. And I think they're going to pick up where they left off, I think Carrasco, Orioles really haven't been hitting. I know Gunnar Henderson did get that home run off Rodon, but really the whole lineup has been struggling other than Cedric Mullins. So I think Carrasco could give him, another solid 5. Maybe he gives up 2 earned, but I think the Yankees will be able to tag Povich, who's given up 34 hits in only 25 innings pitched, and has a 172 whip. So I think they're over him early, often, and I think, with their big pieces rested, ready to go, I think they will cruise to victory here. I'm going to say by a final of 7-3. So give me the Yankees and the over.
The Yankees in the over. All right, next up. Dude, tough matchups today. I mean, I know the Reds and the Cards, the double header. Do I go back to the well with the Phillies, or do I take the? I guess give me the Rangers. Why not, dude? Nathan Eovaldi matched up against Luis Severino, a familiar face here for the Mets and the Yankees, really. A's here, I guess at 500, they're doing all right. Texas, a little lackluster. I think one of their bright spots has been Eovaldi, honestly, out of the rotation. 2.21 ERA, 2-2 on the season. I say he stifles, honestly, this A's lineup. I think Texas could score maybe 4, honestly. Shut out the A's 4-0. I'm going to go Texas in the under.
All right. So for number 2 for me, I'm going to go back to the well. This has been working well all season. Give me the Braves. They've won the first 2 games of this series at Coors Field, 6-3, 8-2. The total here is set at 9.5. Chris Sale, coming out that Cy Young season, has struggled so far, 5.4 ERA. But speaking of struggle, the Rockies' Chase Dollander, 1-3, 7.91 earned run average. So I think the bats will give Chris Sale exactly what he needs. I think he'll pitch 6 innings. Maybe he gives up 3 earned runs, but bunch of strikeouts. And I think the Braves score 10 and end up winning this game 10-5. So give me the Braves and the over.
Braves in the over. And I guess I was talking about Cincinnati. Why not? So I'm going to write that down. Braves over. We'll head to Cincinnati. I'll go to game 1 here. The makeup game, Miles Mikolas versus Brady Singer. I know Singer 3.62, not bad, but still, I think a pitcher who off to a tough start, few starts. Definitely expected more out of him, I feel. But nonetheless, he is 4-0, searching for that 5th win, the elusive 5th win here. I'll say he'll get it. An okay pitching performance. Maybe, 6 1/3, 3 earned runs. It's a quality start for him, certainly. And I think Mikolas gets run out of the building. Reds take on a few early. They win, I don't know, maybe 5-3, which would be, I guess, just on the under. So give me Reds in the under.
All right. So number three, I am going to go with an old friend. The Padres had got to a great start this year. Lost 4 in a row, including getting swept at home by the Rays, but did bounce back yesterday with a 7-4 win over the Giants. I think they'll win again. Michael King, great first year with San Diego last season, off to an outstanding start this season, 3-1, 2.18, 40 strikeouts in 30 innings. I think he will stifle this Giants offense. And Landon Raup on the hill for the Giants, 2-1, 4.56. And I think, King will give them 7 strong, only 2 earned, striking out a dozen. And Fernando Tatis has been unbelievable to start this year. 8 homers, hitting 330. And I think him and Manny Machado go deep in this one. And I think the Padres will win this game 6-1. So give me the Padres in the under. And excuse me. And just like that is your MLB 6-pack. So another great day for baseball. A lot of afternoon games, starting out with the first game of that doubleheader at 12:40. So kind of spread out throughout the day. Like I said before, the Yankees just really want to win this series against Baltimore and finish. I guess actually, wait, there's 30. Yeah, there's only 30 days in April. So to finish off April with 19 wins, I think that's everything you could ask for. And I just think, I've liked what I've seen out of them this season, especially because, just being down, key pieces and, you're still in first place. You're still scoring a ton of runs. So I think it's just everything, you could really ask for. And like we were talking about yesterday, kind of crazy, that, this is the first month of the season. And we were saying it's kind of been a little mix of both, Zach, in terms of like, it's kind of flown by, but at the same time, it's crazy that it's still only like 1 month in. Do you think that's gone fast?
Yeah, I think this month kind of flew by. It is still early, like you said, but, I think that first 2 weeks, I was just so excited. So I was like kind of watching every game that I could. So I felt like those first 2 weeks were going by like a little bit slower because I was just taking in all the games. But now I feel like it's just like flying by.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah, no, it really is. And it's kind of crazy too. Like going into the season, you could say like for both teams, the question about the Yankees, it'd be the offense, question about the Mets would be the pitching. And it's like, the Mets have the best ERA in the league. The Yankees are second in the league in runs scored. So it's just crazy how that works out. And you think something going into the offseason, and then, it's just completely different.
Yeah, honestly, I know our bullpen has struggled at times, but overall, I'm like very impressed with how they've handled everything. That was like one of my biggest worries with the Mets and just the pitching in general, like our starting pitching. And I think I still worry about that because I want everybody to stay healthy. Minter just got hurt actually.
Yeah, but he didn't decide yet if he's gonna have the surgery.
Yeah, I think they're still waiting.
They're still waiting.
See. But regardless,
he's gonna have to have it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he would still miss months even if he doesn't have it, and then he still might need to have it after.
Exactly.
And then what's going on with Montas and Manaea?
I actually haven't heard many updates from them.
I haven't heard a lot. I think
not
Manaea
even
should be
rehab
back
starts
soon. Hopefully.
Montas?
Manaea.
Oh, Manaea.
Yeah.
Okay. Because Montas was it an oblique injury?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So those are usually long term. So it'll be interesting to see, Mets getting some guys back, Yankees getting some guys back. So it'll be even different than it is already, but it's definitely been a great start to the baseball season. So if we could get the immaculate grid up, Zach.
Yes. All good. Ready to roll.
Sweet. Oh yeah, there we go. I see it.
Okay, yeah, just a little tight up top,
Jeez.
My
God.
bad. I know it's full screen.
All right. Let's see here. So the Phillies Cardinals, like Roland comes to mind, but obviously I think that's a little too much. You think Brad Lidge would be too much with the Phillies and the Astros?
I don't know. I don't think so.
More so than Pence. I'm just trying to think. We could sit on it for a second.
Gold Glove for the Phillies. I mean, I don't know if Zach Wheeler won one.
I'm not sure. I mean, I would think Rollins is 1-1.
Right. No, I'm pretty certain Zach Wheeler won.
Okay.
But I don't know if it'd be too high, right? I don't know if anyone from back in the day.
I think you don't think of pitchers with Gold Gloves.
Right. That's what I mean.
So I guess go with it. Zach Wheeler. 2%. There we go. And then let's see. Well, I was thinking outfield. Randy Wynn definitely played on the Cardinals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go Randy Wynn, top right.
That says just played outfield, right?
Not one game. And then also for the Astros, I've done this one before. So the middle right, Mauricio Dubon.
Middle right.
Oh, yeah, gotcha. Middle row, right? Yeah.
Yep.
0.09. Good start here. And then Gold Glove in outfielder. I was trying to. Did Conforto win a Gold Glove or no?
No.
Any Mets outfielder come to mind?
I mean, that isn't going to be like too obvious. I mean,
Did Beltran?
Beltran, I'm pretty sure won one. Yeah.
I feel like that's. If there's so many different guys, I think that's fine. Beltran.
Oh, yeah, that's true. How much?
What a start. And then the 100-run season with the Gold Glove. I mean, I know like Ichiro did it. I was thinking Trout.
Jesus.
Or just go with Trout.
You think Trout would be lower than Ichiro?
Kind of, right? Because
Yeah,
everybody thinks
probably.
of Ichiro Gold Glove and stuff. And
All right,
all
yeah,
the
yeah, let's do
runs.
Trout.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough.
What?
Mike Trout didn't get it?
Probably didn't get the Gold Glove, but which is unbelievable. But that's
Wait, is it in the same year?
That's what I was going to ask.
No,
Oh,
it's definitely not
right?
the same
No, there's
year.
no
It's not
way.
the same year. But I guess he didn't win a Gold Glove. Boy, this is annoying.
Oh, what the fuck, dude? We haven't missed one in
Alternate
a while,
browser?
dude.
Do we have Firefox in there?
I guess you could go incognito mode if you wanted to.
Get the incognito mode up there, I feel like.
You know how to incognito mode it?
If
No,
you just go new.
Yeah, new incognito mode window, and then you have to share that window.
Oh, but if he just clicks on that, doesn't it?
What?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, new incognito window.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. All right, we're incognito mode now.
You feel like this is
Which
kind of
is mad
cheating? Or
funny.
no?
I mean, a little bit.
We don't have to do the same thing. Dude.
Are we
Oh,
still good on there? Is it shared? Is it up on your screen?
Like for the stream, it's
Yeah.
up on this screen. I don't think it's on the stream right now, though.
Hold on.
I'm a little delayed, so it may be. Yeah, are you sharing? Does they share that window? Are you sharing that window? Yeah, see how it's. Yeah. I'm looking up this Mike Trout in the meantime.
He definitely didn't win Gold Glove, I guess, but I don't understand how.
There we
Ernie's
go.
saying, "Wait, but did Pujols win a Gold Glove?" That's what he's suggesting, right?
I mean, I thought Trout did, but I guess I was
St.
wrong.
Louis middle for a 100-run Gold Glove. He's saying Pujols. Okay, so go. Yeah,
Yeah. Wow, dude, Trout never won a Gold Glove.
1%. Okay, and then try the Lidge Astros Phillies.
Oh, so we're doing different
Middle
players all around?
Well, we didn't even guess that one.
Oh,
yet.
we did. Okay, I thought we did.
And then go with Wheeler.
And Beltron.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Beltron.
Beltron was
Bottom right, right?
bottom right. Yes.
And then Dubon,
For
middle right. And then I guess Ernie's saying St. Louis middle, so top middle, Joe Medwick. All right, and then Randy Wynn, top right. And then let's see. So Phillies and Cards. I was trying to think if there was starter. But I guess 100-run season. Biggio, probably be high.
Mm-hmm. Did Abreu have it? There's that 1 year with the
I
throws.
don't know. I feel like first baseman scoring 100 runs.
Does seem like a lot.
Yeah. Go. I guess just go Biggio.
Gavon?
Yeah. Craig.
Craig.
22.
Yeah.
And then Phillies Cards. I was just trying to think of besides Roland. It's like other. I don't know why I can't think of any like pitchers or anything. Or just go rolling.
I mean, I guess, right? I don't know what else to do.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, just go rolling.
That's it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
71. All right. I mean,
Not bad. How much
Kinda
was Roland
cheated.
was probably, yeah,
Just a bit.
I actually
what was rolling?
already forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
34, yeah. But everything else was low.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think Trout got robbed of the Gold Glove. I think that's the
clearly.
the common narrative there.
Somebody must have a vendetta against him.
But anyway, yeah, so let's move along here and go to the world of the National Hockey League.
Here he comes. McDavid shoots. Top shelf. He scores. Captain with the overtime winner. That's the middle. That's a world-class hit right here. Tomsky stepping. Drink Washington made the full split save.
Are you kidding me?
Turn. Side of the net. Between the legs and they score. Filthy. David Pastrnak. The silver trophy to the Golden Knights.
All right. So a couple, well, I guess really just one, two surprises, whatever you want to call it. But definitely a big surprise, a dominant victory for the Senators. And we talked about this possibility yesterday. You know, if the Maple Leafs, who were up 3-0, were to lose again last night, then it's 3-2. Then the question is, Toronto first round, if this is going to happen again. And it does. And Ullmark turns back the clock with, pitching a shutout, 29 of 29. And the Senators go back home. We know how that atmosphere was, last time they were in Ottawa. And to get, goals from 4 different goal scorers yesterday, 2 shorties at the end. So that extended the league, but you got Chabot, Cousins, Stutzel, and Kachuk. The Maple Leafs looked great these first few games, but I mean, I think it's an obvious question, but, or maybe obvious answer, but I mean, are the Maple Leafs in trouble now?
I mean, yeah, I guess so. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say the Maple Leafs blew it because they played their game. You get almost 30 shots on goal. You were physical. They had almost 40 hits as a team. I think, Ullmark, like you said, really turned back the clock, I think, for the Senators here, for himself, really. And would just a phenomenal job. A huge reason why they were able to stay in this game. I mean, you think about even the opportunities in the first period that some of the Maple Leafs had. To come out of it, nothing, and then finally, then your offense starts to get going in the second period. But it's not without Ullmark, making those huge saves that gives this team the confidence.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if the Maple Leafs, obviously it's still a little bit of a road ahead for the Senators here. Again, 3-2 doesn't sound crazy going back to Ottawa, to think about getting a win. But again, if Maple Leafs, if they play their game again, like they've been doing this whole series, like they probably will get out on the winning side of it. But you got to figure out a way to get past Ullmark at that point if he's playing like he was yesterday.
It's interesting. I mean, I just think momentum is so important. And obviously we've been playing hockey. Since the 30s, I think, right? The NHL was started, and only 4 times, has a team come back from 3-0. But I don't know. I just kind of feeling like I saw the way that building was in that overtime game in game 4. I kind of feel like they're going to do it now, honestly. I mean, just because you're going back home and then you get to game 7. And I just feel like anytime you get to game 7, I mean, the previous 6 games don't matter,
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, at that point it's one game that decides everything. So I'm not going to jump ahead to game 7 quite yet, because, you still have to get the job done here, for game 6, but it would be crazy if they were the 5th team and it was the Senators to ever do that. I guess it really wouldn't be a surprise that the Maple Leafs would be a team it happened against, but I would still put my money on Toronto, honestly.
I mean, they are the better team. It just, they don't have momentum, but I do think it's like they got to take care of business game 6. Otherwise, I mean, it's just because the doubt, I'm sure, has already creeped into the mind a little bit. So, you'd want them to start fast. So we'll have to see, what happens. And I know Matthew Ryan inside is hurting. The Devils had a chance to send this thing to game 6. They had a 3-0 lead after the first period, but unfortunately for them, after that, outscored 5-1. So as they always do, the Carolina Hurricanes advancing to the second round of the playoffs. 4 goals in the second period. The difference in this one, and really, I think they're kind of a team, that's overrated here. The fact too that, or underrated, but you don't really think about them, as like one of the top teams in the league. And I know
Mm-hmm.
this one went to a double overtime, but I just feel like they have so many different guys that can score. And even, Taylor Hall had a goal in this one.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that Svechnikov has 5 goals this postseason. Aho, who had the game winner in overtime, has 3. I just feel like they could beat you so many different ways. I don't know. I just think that, you can't rule out them finally getting over the hump. I know they've had trouble in the second round, but they're playing as good as anybody right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. You mentioned that they seem like a team that's underrated. I guess Zach and I were talking a little bit about it. Like Hurricanes always seem to get the short end of the stick when it came to like being good at the right time. A team that was getting better, I guess, when Tampa Bay went on their run. You had the COVID season in between there. You still had guys you had to move around. And it's like, yeah, I mean, especially out of the East, it's like the juggernauts you had to get past in the playoffs recently. I mean, you're thinking Rangers, who were a great team at the time, even the Bruins or the Panthers, right? Like they have to get past these other powerhouse teams. And obviously, to see them come back like this, to take care of business, like emphatically 4-1, I mean, that's not an easy thing to do. When it comes to NHL playoffs, and to come back in that second period after being down 3-0.
Yeah. I mean, that's
pretty wild.
All fight, no quit.
Yeah, absolutely. So, obviously, the Canes, who have been in this position many, many times before, too, advance here after the first round. So it should be pretty interesting to see, I guess how things pan out for them and they end up playing. So,
yeah. And then we had another overtime in Vegas. The Knights winning 3-2, so stealing back home ice. Going up 3-2 in the series. Brett Howden netting the game winner there. So this has been an interesting series, a series that's going to go at least 6 games that you felt like, even though Minnesota was sneaky good this year, that Vegas, would dominate, but it's been tight, but they've been able to get the job done. I think this was just a solid overall game for them, and they'll have a chance in game 6 to close out the series. But, Minnesota, it's definitely a tough team, and you talk about like short ends of the stick, draws. I think after a season that saw them win 45 games, they got a bad draw here, because you could argue, playing like this, you're going to beat most teams the way that they've played the series.
Yeah, absolutely. And the series is as tight as we can get, really. I know we could say Vegas a little bit favored, a little bit better, whatever. They're up 3-2 right now. Maybe the light's looking a little bit dim, but the Wild, I'm pretty sure, did they shut out? Oh, no, they didn't have to shut out Vegas, but that 5-2 victory, back-to-back 5-2 victories that they had after game 1. Those were 2 statement games. One on the road, one at home as well, too. So obviously, this is a series that has been going back and forth, especially again, it doesn't seem like home ice takes much of advantage away from any other team. So, going back to Minnesota, it's going to be tough. I would still lean Golden Knights. You mentioned Howden. I think that was his 3rd postseason. Minnesota has to keep it tight. They can't really be making mistakes. That shorthanded goal you gave up in the first period, like that, what are we doing? And then honestly, as if to almost pour salt in the wounds, you do end up scoring that power play to tie the game, which I guess is good, but it's like you should have been up 1-0 at that point. And that's a totally different game right there, So in any case, again, Wild come out, they keep it tight. They can give Vegas a run for their money and maybe, hopefully, force a game 7, but I don't know. I'd be willing to bet that Vegas wins it on the road.
Yeah, no, I think so too. I think that was a huge game, swing game of momentum there. And speaking of a huge game, swing game, Edmonton has won the last 3 against Los Angeles after going down 0-2, winning at Crypto.com last night 3-1. This was a tight game. No goals in the first period. The Kings struck first with Kuzmenko on a power play, but the Oilers outscoring them 3-0 from that point on. Kane, Janmark, and Nugent Hopkins, and we talked about Picard, who didn't start this series as a starter, has done a great job in filling in these last 3 wins. I think this was definitely a statement game for Edmonton, who will have a chance to advance to the second round, game 6 at home.
Yeah, dude, it's actually funny. I try to stay up as much as I can for this game. This was kind of the game I was focusing on, as we talked about yesterday. But honestly, watching the Kings kind of reminded me of watching the Rangers against a good team, to be honest. it's like they didn't they end up scoring first. They had that that Kuzmenko goal was a tip in off of a Kopitar shot, which was great. And it's like after that, it's like, yeah, you have the lead. Yeah, you had some shooting opportunities, but it's like possession, the better passing, obviously, end up finding the back of the net was all on the Oilers. Like they were just playing a better game. And it seemed the Kings were like limping around in it, almost like the Rangers would be against a good team, right? Not really having good, extended, sustainable offensive shifts. And obviously that was evident in what I think 42 saves Darcy had to have last night, or 40 saves on 42 shots, whatever it was. Outrageous. The Kings just did not have great defense. They did not have possession of the puck. Like it was all Oilers, it seemed, which is why, again, you see the score in the second by them, come back, tie it, and then 2 unanswered in the third. When you don't have the puck, obviously, like the Kings, like you're not going to be scoring. So it's like if they speak of momentum, Brian, I mean, Oilers winning, not only taking the lead for the first time in the series, but their first win on the road as well.
Yeah. And then to go back home, you've played well at home. They haven't played well on the road.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is really tough. Obviously the Kings, like I said, I mean, you got to get your defense out there. I mean, obviously Oilers did a good job of stopping the Kings defense too. I want to say Hyman led the team with 10 hits last night. He was all over the place. He may even had an assist, I think, too. But he was all over the place defensively, which is great. You don't see that often from him. So I think, honestly, I would have to say Oilers in that locker room in these off days, making those adjustments defensively and goaltending wise. I mean, that's definitely, I would imagine, especially after, the first game you lost 6-5, right? Like you score a lot. You're like, dude, we gotta, next game you give it 6 again.
You only scored 2.
You gotta, like, you had to have improved your defense. They clearly did that. I guess now it's time to see if the Kings can handle, bettering their defense and scoring more too. So we'll see what happens. But like you said, Oilers fans should be feeling pretty good.
Yeah. So we'll see if they can close it out at Rogers Place. JD also mentions, I guess there was a goal disallowed at the end of the third for the Wild.
The Wild, yes.
So that's interesting.
I think it was offsides call.
Good to have JD here. But yeah, those disallowed goals, the offsides, I mean, I could spend hours talking about that. It's tough. It's tough, especially in the playoffs. And those are momentum killers. And the fact that from that point, you still went to double overtime, it's kind of crazy. So we'll see if they could rally. 3 games tonight. You got two teams with chances to advance to the second round. That'd be the Panthers and the Capitals. And then a huge game in Winnipeg. The Jets dropping those last 2 games. So all tied up at 2. Hellebuck's been pulled. I mean, would you say that that's the game of the night, or were you intrigued in what you saw with the Canadiens Capitals last night?
I mean, I don't know, man. I'm sorry. I mean, for Montreal, I know we were rooting for the upset, or at least I was dictating the upset. I think it is over. I mean, you won that first game at home in the Bell Center. That's great. I kind of thought that would have catapulted you to a second win at home, and then maybe you can figure out what happens with a game 6, force a game 7, whatever. But I think you're down 3-1. You're back in Washington for game 5 here. I mean, it's going to take, I think, close to a miracle for the Montreal to win not only this game, but obviously the series too. But I just think that Caps ended here. Strome, I think, has a postseason leading 6 goals, I think, so far. So he's been great for the Caps. Obviously, about Ovi.
Yeah.
And not to mention, like, Logan Thompson battling through his injury. I think that he sustained in game 3, I guess, at the Bell Center, I want to say. To still come in here and get the job done in game 5 or game 4, I should say. And I guess conversely, you do have Montembeault out. I'm pretty sure he's not in for this game. I could be wrong. But I know he was kind of a day-to-day situation. I know this would be the game for Sam to be like, hey, like maybe I should just try it out. But let me just double check here. But obviously that's a huge hit. Let's see. This is yesterday.
Lower body remains day to day.
Exactly. I mean, they're not going to give much information, but I'm just trying to see.
Unlikely to guard the cage for game 5.
Wow, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah. So that might be the final blow.
Yeah. I mean, they're back up Dubas or whatever. I mean,
yeah,
doing his best, man, but
he's not Montembeault.
He's not. So it's tough for Montreal.
And then, yeah, I think, Washington closes it out. I think Panthers close it out. It's just the Lightning had a chance, but I think now it's just too far gone. And then I think Hellebuck will bounce back. I know he said the playoff struggles, but I could see him going shutout, honestly, tonight.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It is so tough. I mean, Hellbuck's been pulled, I think, twice now already this series. Like, it's kind of crazy. And that's been, like we talked about, a little bit of a sentiment around his postseason stats. I mean, obviously, Jets at home, you would anticipate the win. I mean, you would still think Hellebuck, like game one, honestly.
Yeah.
Right? Like literally. So I always say give me the Jets there, dude.
Yeah.
But Blues, they're knocking on the door.
They have. I mean, we talk about fight and no give up. I mean, that defines what the Blues have done. So I think that'll be a great game. And we had some interesting games NBA last night. Obviously, locally here, all Knicks fans disappointed about that loss to Detroit last night. Opportunities, but kind of what we've seen in their losses, where it's just not playing a complete game. That has come back to bite. Did you guys catch any of that one?
In bits and pieces. I was working, but I did see them blow it.
I mean, I was still telling Tony before the show, I still think they're gonna win game 6 in Detroit. I know it's very close and the whole heart thing. It's just next round that I'm worried about, but I don't think they're gonna blow this. I mean, I know everybody wanted to win at home, first time, quarter century, all that. Pistons are a good team, let's face it, but I think the Knicks will bounce back the way they have all season. I mean, you think they're in trouble at all?
I think they'll be all right for this series. But
yeah, next series, yeah,
it might be done for the day. Honestly.
But you really think it's gonna be 3 in a row done? Thibs fired, Giannis, Zion.
I don't know, dude. I mean, what's the deal with Brunson? Is he like banged up?
I feel like it's one of those things. He is banged up. You saw the floorboard move, but he's gonna give it a go. I mean, come on.
I know he is, but it's like if he's like dying out there, like they're gonna lose if he's not able to play.
I mean, Towns though could go for 40 and 20. Could.
I don't know, man. I mean, if Brunson's healthy, I say they can win one more game, sure.
Yeah, so we'll have to see, but I know a lot of Knicks fans disappointed with that one. Halliburton, the buzzer beater in overtime, sending the Bucks home. Maybe Giannis's last game is a Buck. I would think Doc Rivers would go too, right? I mean, it's just how many times is he going to lose in the first round?
Right. Did you see that whole thing with Halliburton's dad? And
tight
on the court, the towel,
suspension,
Giannis, like. Yeah. What are we doing here?
Yeah. I mean, it just
was pretty wild.
Yeah.
Tough loss, obviously, for the Bucks, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like with Dame's injury, it's like
it's over.
Yeah.
You got to just kind of reset there.
Unfortunate that
speaking of the next round, if the Knicks advance to play the Celtics, 120-89 over the Magic. So they win that series 4-1. And how about the Nuggets? We talked about the Clippers bouncing back, but the Nuggets, despite all the drama there, Jamal Murray, how about 43-7-3 last night?
Crazy.
In a 16-point victory at home. So they'll have an opportunity to close it out. Game 6 in Los Angeles. I had to say, I mean, I was definitely surprised about that. Even Russell Westbrook giving you 21 points off the bench. I mean, who saw that coming? And you win a game like this, and Jokic only has 13 points.
Yeah, pretty wild, I guess. You don't really see that very often. Yeah, kind of funny to see Westbrook off the bench, 3 for 6 from 3, not bad, obviously contributing. But I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of surprised. I mean, I guess you kind of were too. You were kind of thinking the Clippers could win this game here. So, I mean, what do you think happened? You think Kawhi just didn't have it going? I mean, 20 points.
Yeah, but I think too, I mean, we were playing into the whole drama situation, but at the end of the day, this is a team that won a championship a couple of years ago, has all those key cogs back. So it's not like they're just going to, bend over. You know what I mean? It's like they're gonna. I'm saying they can still, despite having an uneven season, still have some of the best talent in the whole league. That's that's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, if Murray goes off like that, I mean, him and Jokic are like the greatest tandem ever in playoff basketball. Basically,
and then you're throwing Westbrook off the bench too. So be interesting. Warriors can close out in Houston tonight, up 3-1. Butler played a big role in that game 4 victory. I expect them to do so. They're 4.5-point underdogs, but I could see Curry going nuts, them closing it out. And then I'm expecting some late night contact between Ernie and Michael Butka.
Hopefully
Lakers,
it's good.
Timberwolves. I mean, Lakers 6.5-point favorites. I think they're gonna win. I mean, I don't think they're just gonna
bend over.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I guess not, dude. I mean, I don't know. I mean, so you think it's like Lakers by a mile?
Not by a mile, but I mean, maybe, tight game early, and then they, end up winning by 7 or something, right?
Who's the higher scorer, LeBron, Luka?
Luka,
yeah,
45, triple-double.
LeBron was getting pretty tight. I think Gobert threw a little elbow in the back of his head.
Yeah, I did see that.
Was
I
wild.
did see that. Gobert's always a dirty player.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think they're going to go out like this. I really don't.
It'd be a shame if they were, dude. That'd be like a real sad end to this season for the Lakers, especially with the acquisition of Luka and obviously everything surrounding LeBron. Another year.
And speaking of over, Michael Bucket says Damian Lillard's career is over. I mean, I don't think it's over, but it's just going to be. It might not be the same though. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, you'd imagine he's going to miss probably most of next season, right?
Achilles
is
are tough, but he's a fighter. I mean, he'll come back. You know,
he's a workhorse.
Probably won't be for the Bucks though. That's for sure. So it'd be
you
interesting.
Think Bucks end up cleaning house?
Yeah, you have to.
Have to.
Yeah.
That's wild.
But yeah, I mean, what do you think about the potential like Towns for Giannis swap, Zach?
I don't think the Knicks would.
You don't think they'll do it?
I don't think they would.
Really?
I think Towns had too good of a season. I don't know though, because it is Giannis. But, I mean, it's just like I just don't think, they've invested so much into Towns, and it was only one season. I wouldn't see that happening.
Yeah. So be interesting. But we're definitely at a really interesting point of the sports calendar, playoffs moving along, midst of it in baseball. Another major championship around the corner for the PGA. So we're excited about that, and we're excited about another edition of the Gaming Corner.
That's right, 7 p.m. You know the deal. Joey, Michael, and myself finishing off Indiana Jones. Hopefully, dude, because the game has been an absolute ride. Absolutely, that game, so much fun. So tune in 7 p.m. Obviously, we'll be watching some sports as well. You can chat, whatever, dude. Hang out. It's be a good time.
I also saw, I think it's $250 for Ulbrich and $100,000 for the Falcons with the whole Shador prank call situation.
No shit.
NFL come bringing down the hammer.
I mean, I saw this statement out from the Falcons and stuff. It's really embarrassing.
Imagine if Ulbrich lost his job because of this.
I mean, that would be kind of tough. I feel for him because it's like, but then again, it's like what. I mean, do you buy the story that like his iPad or laptop was open at home whenever the kid saw the number, took the number down?
I mean, I guess how else do you get the number though? You're saying you think like Ulbrich is like,
no, like, not like that, but I don't know, dude. It just seems like what the fuck? Like, what?
I think, but like, how's he getting that information though? You know what I mean? I don't know. Unless it's on the public archive.
I don't
somewhere.
know, dude. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't know, man. I feel like maybe something where Ulbrich maybe more at fault. Like maybe just I don't know.
Yeah,
it just seemed kind of fishy. That's like you're telling me his son like went into his office, saw there was like an open. Like, oh wow, like
hammered though. Maybe
the son.
Yeah.
No,
I'm saying and like, oh, this will be hilarious. Like,
maybe
prank call Shador.
Like that's bad, dude. So bad.
And then also too, Michael's saying the Knicks would do that in a second. It's a business, not a friendship.
For what?
For Giannis.
Oh.
And then also Kittle, well-deserved, 4 years, 76.4, highest paid tight end in the league. So,
oh really? I didn't know it was the highest paid tight end.
Yeah. I mean, he's unbelievable.
He's unbelievable.
So it'd be interesting to see Niners disappointing last year. They trade away some guys, see if they rebound. But yeah, so that's really where we're at. But definitely another great show today. Great having Zach back in the mix.
Thank you.
And we really appreciate all of you who tuned in and continue to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives of the YouTube page, Tony, Michael, Renee, and Jay in costume merch at downtime.tv.com. Want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games, enjoy Gaming Corner.
Yep.
Let's go Yankees.
Let's go,
and we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.